All right, y'all. Good day, good day. Hope everybody out there is blessed and balanced. And if you're not blessed or balanced, today's episode might be particularly helpful because as creative individuals, oftentimes the creation process, the artistic journey can be one that comes with many sacrifices, as do most significant journeys. However, I have found that in my interactions, in my observations, and moments of my own direct experience for sure, has led me to realize just how often that trade-off is one's own health, right? Now, when we talk about health, understand we're talking about wellness as an entire concept. Wellness including, obviously, as most people probably jump to, your physical activity level and what you eat, but also we're talking about your state of mind, things these days like digital well-being, having time out in nature, so many different things. So James and I thought it would be of great service and value to maybe just take a little time and discuss the power and the value of certain things that are designed to be a daily routine. Daily is optimal, but at a minimum, even if it's every other day, some of these things, make it so that daily is more applicable than weekly, but don't get lost in the everyday. Listen now. So yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, all of these things would be great things to do if you could do them every day, like Sae'Von was just saying. However, I know that people love to use a consistency and a 7 days a week as an excuse not to do something. So if you thought you were going to get off that easy, go sit back down.
Yes, just go.
First and foremost, I think, when we're talking about wellness, it's multifaceted. I think the most important thing that I think we need to touch on before we go into anything else is movement, okay? Not movement in your art. Don't get all abstract on me. Let's come back to the center for just a second. Movement of your body, okay? That doesn't mean you got to go win the CrossFit Games. Doesn't mean you got to go run a marathon. Does not mean you got to go deadlift 700 pounds. But what it does mean is you should want to, and it's of great benefit to your longevity for you to move. I was going to say well-being. Didn't want to reuse that word, that trite word again.
Longevity.
Yeah. So, it's something we need to look at. And for me, I guess I'll go into kind of, I try to move every day. And I kind of, we'll ping pong here for just a minute. Now, I take a little bit more of an aggressive stance on the physical fitness.
Little.
Yeah, I use fitness on the physical fitness and physical suffering more specifically as a way to callous my mind. I only laugh because people always look at me like I've got two heads when I say that. But I truly do mean it.
You about that shit.
Yeah, like it's a way for me to prove to myself how far I can go so I can apply that in other places in my life. But I am here to say that you can do as I say, not as I do. You do not have to do that to get an outcome that's beneficial to your body from movement. Sae'Von in his life has also been on the level of aggression with physical fitness that I'm at. Not right now, but has been, and I think can speak to what that balance looks like of coming back in alignment a little bit with making movement the foundational piece that is necessary, not go in the gym, try to win the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, for sure. Because as you said, especially a lot of people who find themselves entrenched in creative work, a lot of times it may reach a point where depending on the level of somebody's at in their career, it may not be super feasible. If you're traveling more days out the week than you're not, if you're basically living out of hotels or Airbnbs, I mean, there are a lot of real reasons why, maybe that 700-pound deadlift is a far reach in terms of a goal. But as you said, having been on the extreme of it before, where I'm literally having panic attacks if I don't get to the gym, you know what I'm saying, where I'm sub 8% body fat, but feeling like it's not low enough, it's more important that you understand everything that you do daily is what your life is. So if daily you're not exercising, You're not eating to feed your temple. Whole foods, you know what I'm saying? Everything you eat is just what's the most convenient thing, what's the quickest thing. Yeah, they're quick and convenient with that cost of they don't have that longevity. They're not sustainable. Just like somebody saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm a squat 500 pounds every day." That's not sustainable, you know. But at the end of the day, there is no real reason, no excuse, even if you used to be Mr. or Mrs., you know, world-class athlete in high school, college, whatever, or if you've been the person who's been that potato, you know, or you found yourself just having your health for various reasons. Sometimes these things truly are out of your control, but most of the time it's not. It's just like that. No. It doesn't matter because those small steps, they aggregate and they culminate over time in the cumulative effect that is improved health, well-being. So something as simple as, if you don't have a gym set up, you know, because not everybody does. I do. Go outside every morning, do a lap around your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Walk to the corner store if you want to get you a bag of damn Doritos. You know what I'm saying? Walk to the place where you get your takeout from if you're in a city where it's close enough to you to do that. Something as simple as setting an alarm on your phone to take a break every few hours if your work involves a lot of sitting or a desk or a tablet or anything that puts your neck in a very unnatural motion. But anything that can interrupt the flow of unnatural movements and habits to reintegrate natural movements. So even take today. So it's been the protocol that when James comes over, you know, I get a little taste of what he likes to do on a more regular basis. Not exercise, but exercise with the intent to suffer from it, you know. And it becomes something that kind of becomes like a little bit of a ritual, of a tradition. But today, the time didn't too much allow for that. So what we did decide to do was, all right, in between little snippets of our work, we said, all right, let's go ahead, bounce to the garage, and we're gonna bust out some sets of pull-ups. Let's jump to the garage. We're gonna bench a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna stand up, move, get into the fresh air. We're eating blueberries, you know what I'm saying, and pistachios and dried fruits, you know, and watermelon throughout the day, as opposed to knocking back Red Bulls and Taco Bell and Tostitos and all of that. And not saying that you can't enjoy those things from time to time, but what is your go-to? What is your default? Because that's showing you what your future is if you don't change anything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's those daily routines, right? It's that routine in large part that determines where you go, whether you want to get there or not. What do those actions look like? And you know, to kind of ping on a conversation I think we had more offline. I think I mentioned it on one of the podcasts about Big Mark. You know, a friend of mine, very interesting guy. Actually, pretty creative. Doesn't have a creative job, but likes creative. But he is in a place where for years, he's actually been referred to as Big Mark, right? Because that was part of his identity, right? He was that size when we were kids. He's that size more recently, not exactly right now, but more recently. But since he decided that routine for him, the Doritos, the Coke, the lack of movement, and just so much so as lack of movement, literally not getting off the couch, intentionally sitting on the couch and eating on the couch and continually eating on the couch until it's time to go to bed. Okay. Some people can relate to that. I personally have never been able to relate to that. That doesn't mean that it's not something that we need to look at, though. Sure. I think it's very interesting that now, since he has taken a hold of his routine, the man is only walking every day. Walking 1 to 3 miles every day. And in just over 6 or 8 months, he's intermittent fasting, doing a few other things, controlling his caloric intake, drinking far more water,
taking
away,
steps for sure.
Taking other steps. But what I'm talking about from a physical fitness standpoint, only walking 1 to 3 miles a day. The man is almost under 300 pounds now. And he was right there, borderline 400, maybe over at some point. Walking. That kind of movement coupled with other great routines to prioritize your health, get them in a different place.
And I love that example because it really is a reminder and can serve as a reminder that, like, look, you don't have to go out here and do something crazy, especially if you're starting at a much different place, a place where, maybe that momentum is hard to overcome, that momentum of you not doing anything. But for sustainability long-term as an artist, you must understand that it is also in your best interest for your own creativity's sake that you keep your health well. Because think about it. If you wake up and you're having sugar headaches or headaches from sugar withdrawal, or, you have a stomach ache because you're eating like garbage, or you're having digestive issues, just all these things that become problems that, one, obviously don't make you feel good. And if you don't feel good, can you create good work? And aside from that whole suffering creates beautiful art, bullshit. And sometimes it does. I'm not saying it can't, but that does not need to be the mechanism, right? So it alleviates those issues. When you're feeling bad and you're sick, these also result in hospital visits, doctor's visits, these things that take your money as well as your time. And now maybe that piece of equipment that really could have set your business into a whole nother direction, now you're sacrificing those opportunities as well, simply because you didn't walk, because you didn't get off the couch. Like, even people who might find themselves staring at a screen all day, find you a screen that has a variable angle on it so that you can tilt it just slightly so that you can, maintain your neck a little bit more and save your neck health. If you're on your cell phone, like, hold that joint up whenever you can. Yeah, you might look a little funny, but you can't look too funny. We're in the selfie age, you know what I'm saying? We passed the selfie age. So the difference between holding your phone down beneath you and craning your neck to holding it out in front, the difference of, bookending your days and making sure that you're off of any digital device, even if it's 10 minutes at the front end and back end of the day. Something I would recommend y'all try as part of your daily routine is when you go to bed at night, just put your phone in airplane mode. Most people, you have no excuse of why you can't do that, because guess what? You can uncheck it. And for those who don't know, airplane mode, it shuts off all of the signals or all of the radios in your phone, the transmitter. So no Wi-Fi, no cell service, none of that. No Bluetooth. It cuts it all down. But as soon as you take it off, it powers it back on. But the reason this is powerful is twofold. For one, you're diminishing the amount of radio frequency radiation you're submitting yourself to, because all these digital devices, they radiate frequencies. And secondly, when you have your phone in airplane mode, it prevents you from being able to scroll ceaselessly on social media, wasting your time, and it allows you to kind of block yourself off from the world for a controlled amount of time. Because often, especially people's careers, or if they're collaborating more, whatever it is, you can find that every few hours, or if not even more than that, your phone is always lighting up from this person liking your thing, or this person retweeting you, or this person texting you, and this person calling you, emailing you. And it's this consistent bombardment that you can then start to feel trapped under. I know I have at times, but when you put your phone in the airplane mode, you know for a fact there's not going to be a damn thing that comes through. So now it gives you a little bit more time to think, to reflect, to journal, to go walk, you know what I mean? To do some push-ups, to do some yoga, to stretch, whatever. But oftentimes there are these other variables that if we controlled a little bit more precisely, we would find that all of a sudden we have more time. All of a sudden it's easier to do things. It's easier to avoid certain traps as well.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. That's a very interesting breakdown. I don't ever put my phone on airplane mode. Now, that's not to say it's not beneficial. It is definitely beneficial. I just simply don't do it. It's a lack of discipline. For so much discipline in another place, or in a bunch of other places.
You've used your discipline tokens.
Yeah, no more discipline tokens for me. With my phone, no discipline at all. But it is interesting. A digital sunset. I really want to touch on one thing that you said. A digital sunset is beneficial whether you have discipline or not. Having a time every day and the routine of when you're waking up and going to bed being more consistent, it is beneficial for your circadian rhythm to be more consistent when you're going to bed and when you're waking up. And with that in mind, having a digital sunset where you're not going to look at screens anymore. Okay, because the light that's being emitted from these screens is going to do something to your mind, and it definitely does. And you can get, blue light glass, blocking glasses, and you can do this, that, or the other. Or you could just not spend your money on that crap and, turn your phone off or turn your phone on airplane mode and put it in your drawer. Or don't turn it on airplane mode, put it on the other side of the room, plug it in with your alarm if you got to, and then leave it. Literally, put it in a drawer, put it in your safe. There's so many things that you can do that are beneficial for longevity, that are a little bit more uncomfortable now because your friends, your compadres, nobody else does it because it requires a lot of discipline to do. But the rewards from that are ridiculous. When you have those things, and I'm not going to hyper focus on the digital sunset, but it is a great thing to be in the practice of doing because it gives you that release from what we view society as, which is this interconnectivity web of, us constantly, jacking
straight up
dopamine straight into our veins, and getting this affirmation, giving that affirmation, telling this person they're ugly, telling this person they're pretty, liking this booty pic, chatting with somebody that you probably shouldn't be chatting with at that time of the night anyways, because my father used to say this, there's nothing good that happens after 9 p.m. Okay? Marine himself used to say all kinds of nonsense like that. But he's got a point. I mean, to
maybe
an extent.
It's 10 p.m., 10:30, but it's not far from 9. When the
maybe it's midnight.
Often begin.
It's interesting, though. There's detrimental behavior that we don't even see the effects of or the consequences or the ramifications of right now. But it still happens. I mean, you either got to sacrifice for the goal or sacrifice the goal itself. Those are the only two things that you have to choose from. And there's a lot that goes with both of them. But I think that routine-wise, I think also another beneficial thing, we are creatives, right? You can consume content just as much as you can create. However, you need to be intentional about your consumption. Okay? I wouldn't, excuse me, squeaking. Too excited. I wouldn't say that it is extremely beneficial for you as a creative to consume media that is engulfed in drugs, sex, money, and killing people.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we are a byproduct of what we take in. So knowing that, having that audit or that gauge on where you're really at emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and especially with that interconnectivity that we have that allows us to jack right into the matrix and have all of this stuff immediately at our fingertips at any moment, barring an EMP, how does one really self-regulate cutting that off? Because as you said, it's not that you can't take any of it in.
Did you say barring an EMP?
Yeah.
Most people don't know what that is.
Yeah, so electromagnetic pulse. So these are certain apparatuses designed to wipe out the various devices. So basically, just think of it as a kill switch, right? We don't got to get too deep into it. If you want to look up this type of stuff, go to theblackvault.com. It's plenty of FOIA documents available there on all sorts of technologies. But the point that you were making, knowing that you have the ability to regulate what comes in, because I think it's very easy, especially as a creative, and knowing that a lot of people's creative work is very connected to digital and social media, that it can just feel like, well, if but I can't not be there. I can't. And we ain't saying don't. All we're saying is, does it require you to be 24/7 jacked in? Maybe do 18/5. Maybe do 12/4. It's just ways to play with this and augment it, and everybody's exact balance and routine is going to be unique to them and their particular workflow and their scenario and what they have going on. We merely thought it would be useful to take a brief second to go over some topics that maybe you've never considered doing some of these things that, you've been on that all or none, where I've been in that place where, like, if I'm not going to the gym, warming up on 225 squat, busting out 15, 20 pull-ups in between each set, then I don't need to fuck it, I can't exercise because it's not at that level. And it's like, that's dumb, Sae'Von. You know what I mean? Like, 20 air squats is better than nothing.
And the funny thing about that analogy is, the all or nothing. Hey, I'm going to warm up like that. Is kind of like saying, your gas tank is empty and you got $5 and you don't need the $5 for anything else. You can put it in the tank, or you can wait till you have all the money to fill the whole thing up.
Yeah.
What the hell are you going to do?
Come on now.
Are you gonna put the $5 in there? You
Go
make it
somewhere
a little bit further, or you're just gonna say, "Nah, I'm gonna wait till I have all the money." Like that, you can only do that so much with your body. By the way, you can only do that so much with your time, right? You attacking something that you need to attack, you prioritizing something you need to prioritize for your betterment, potentially because you're being authentic to your goals as a creative, being authentic to the process. If you do not prioritize those things, if you do not give energy to them, well, you're going to sacrifice the goal. And this routine ain't going to matter. Not going to matter at all.
Yeah, so think about it, reflect on it, find the parts of your daily routine that you enjoy, right? That you definitely don't want to compromise. But also make sure that these are things that truly do serve you, not something that you enjoy but is detrimental, like that Taco Bell shit, like that sitting your ass on the couch, binging Netflix. Binging is almost never a good thing.
It might feel fun. It might feel good in the moment. It's not going to bring you anything lasting that's positive.
Yeah, man. But feel free to binge this podcast, But I'm just talking shit. But seriously, find out the parts of your routine that you like that are serving you well. Anything that's not, maybe just go ahead and yank that all the way out and then start to plug in these small things. If it's you don't ever eat any fruit, start trying to have a piece of fruit a day, or every other day. Like we said, it don't got to be 7 days a week, but see if you can do 3. If you can do 4 so that it is more often than not, even that goes a tremendous long way. Think about it. 4 out of 7. If you can get there, start with 1, move it to 2, move it to 3, and then it gives you a couple days where you can cheat, if you want to call it that, or you can be imperfect, because we're all imperfect, right? But yeah, what you do daily is what you do weekly, is what you do monthly, is how your years go by, and that's life. So we just wanted to bring this stuff to y'all's attention, and I'm pretty sure we'll have some other installments that are similar where we talk, because we only have so much time, and just sit with those steps for now. Daily movement, whole foods, and unplug for a little bit.
Yeah.
Those will be my 3.
Be with yourself, with that unplug. Be with your mind. Be with your spirit. Figure out who you are. If you continue to consume, you can create all day. But if you continue to consume and you never have a time when you're alone, a time when you're by yourself, a time when you're with just your thoughts, I think you got some work to do. I think you really got to figure out. It's oftentimes in those times that you really see who you are and what you're about, what you're into, what you don't like. And maybe you come to a place of self-awareness on some things that are not beneficial to your life. And so for now, yeah, I think the movement, the whole foods, and the unplug. And we'll leave it there for sure. We will definitely circle back. Do not forget it. We will circle back and go deeper on a couple other areas, and probably these. However, we had some quick time. Wanted to get our thoughts out here for you. And yeah, that's all I got. Sae'Von, you got anything else?
No, you said it all, G.
Okay. Well, we appreciate it as always, you coming out, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Stay blessed.
Peace.